Hello dear listeners, welcome back to the Lawyer Talk channels of BLawyers Vietnam. My name is Huynh Kim Thanh and I'm thrilled to be with you again on today's podcast. Today we will discuss the regulation on renewing work permit and applying for temporary resident card for foreign employees in Vietnam. This episode covers an important topic for both employers and foreign employees in Vietnam. It's what to do when a work permit and a temporary resident card of a foreign employee are about to expire and what practical notes should be considered. In this podcast, I will guide you through the procedures and orders and critical points to note when handling the renewal of work permit and applying for new temporary resident cards. Let's start with renewing a work permit for foreign employees under Decree 152/2020 and Decree 70/2023. Renewing a work permit begins with completing the procedures for obtaining approval for the demand to employ foreign employees, and here is how it's done. First, the employers must first conduct a recruitment process for Vietnamese employees to work at the position intended for foreign employees. This process must be carried out on the portal of Department of Employment or Employment Service Center established by the Provincial People Committees for at least 15 days before submitting an explanation report to the Department of Labor, Invalid and Social Affairs, thereafter referred to as DOLISA. If no Vietnamese candidates apply within 15 days, the employer must at least 15 days before employing foreign employee submit a report explaining the need to hire foreign employee for position that Vietnamese employee cannot fulfill. This report is submitted to the Ministries of Labor, Invalid and Social Affairs, thereafter referred to as MOLISA or DOLISA. It's important to note that the job position must correspond to the position that the employer has recruited. Additionally, in Ho Chi Minh City, employers can currently carry out this procedure online via the Ho Chi Minh City Public Service Portal. Furthermore, if the employer authorizes or hires another organization or individual to perform these procedures, they must also provide a power of attorney or service contract as required by regulations. After that, within 10 working days of receiving the report, MOLISA or DOLISA will issue a written approval or rejection of the demand. Please note that in Ho Chi Minh City, this process can be completed online via the Ho Chi Minh City Public Service Portal. Once the application results is available, the employer will receive a notification on the portal. When collecting the result directly at the DOLISA, the employer will receive a receipt and an appointment letter for the result. Typically, the decision to approve or reject the use of foreign employees is issued within 1 to 2 working days. Next, when receiving approval of the demand, the employer must submit a work permit renewal application to MOLISA or DOLISA. The application must be submitted no later than 5 days and no earlier than 45 days counting to the day the work permit expires. Currently, in Ho Chi Minh City, this application process is conducted online through the Ho Chi Minh City Public Service Portal. The employer needs to prepare the following documents. First is a request letter for work permit renewal. Next is photos of the employee and the current valid work permit of the employee, the approval document for employing foreign employee, except in case where it is not required to determine the demand for employing foreign employees, in which case this document is not necessary. The employee passport and a health certificate or medical examination result confirming the employee is physically fit as required by regulations. Documents proving that the foreign employee will continue working for the employers as specified in the current valid work permit, except in case where the foreign employees is employed under the labor contract. However, if the foreign employees is employed under a labor contract, the employer should include a job proposal letter and other relevant documents. The processing time for renewal is 5 working days from the date received of a complete and valid application. If rejected, the authority will issue a written explanation. After successfully renewal, employers and foreign employees must sign a new labor contract and submit it to DOLISA after the renewal. The maximum duration for a work permit renewal is 2 years and it can only be renewed once. However, under decision number 1321 of the People Committee, if this procedure is carried out in Ho Chi Minh City, the processing time for the application is 3 working days from the day of the receipt of a complete and valid application. Another important note: before submitting the renewal application, the foreign employee must check whether their passport has a validity of more than 2 years, as the passport expiration date also impacts the validity of the renewed work permit. If the passport is nearing its expiration, the employee must renew their passport and reissue their work permit before proceeding with the renewal. Next, once the work permit renewal is completed, the next step is applying for a temporary resident card, thereafter referred to TRC. By law, a TRC issued by the Immigration Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to foreign employees permitted to reside in Vietnam for a fixed period. The TRC serves as a special visa. And back to today's topic, the validity of the TRC for foreigners will be issued based on the validity of the work permit. Therefore, when a work permit is about to expire, the TRC will also approach its expiration. Currently, Vietnamese law does not allow for the renewal of an expired TRC. Instead, the foreign employee must apply for a new TRC through the Immigration Department or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Under the laws of Entry, Exit, Transit, and Resident 2015, amended and supplemented in 2019, TRCs issued to foreign employees have the symbols of LD2. In Ho Chi Minh City, the process for applying for a TRC is conducted online through the National Public Service Portal. Employers are required to create an account on this portal and use a digital company signature, commonly called as a token, to carry out the application process. To prepare for the application, employers need to provide the following documents: a sponsorship letter from the business or organization in Vietnam requesting the issuance of the TRC for the employee, an application form for a TRC with the employee photo attached, the employee original passport, current TRC, and the renewed work permit and relevant documents. Of note, if the employee has obtained a new passport and the latest entry date to Vietnam is not reflected in it, the old passport must be also submitted for verification. After completing the online application and receiving confirmation from the Immigration Department that the application is complete and valid, the employer must submit the hard copy document to the immigration office of the province or city where the employee resides. The processing time is no more than 5 working days, and the state fee for issuing a TRC is $145 for a card. Thus, completing both mentioned procedures ensure that the legal rights of the foreign employee are protected and that potential risks are mitigated during their employment and residence in Vietnam. Dear listeners, we have now gone through the key points and important notes regarding the application process for renewing work permits and issuing temporary resident card for foreign employees. I hope the information we have shared will help listeners have more new information on these issues from the perspective of researching current legal regulation. And if you have any question or concern, please leave a comment below. For more information about BLawyers Vietnam, feel free to visit our website displayed below the Lawyer Talk podcast screen. Thank you and see you next time.